December 31st, 2025. A date that for many Canadians and Americans once meant anticipation, excitement, and the promise of new beginnings. But this year, something is different, something no one could have predicted just a few years ago. The world's longest undefended border is eerily quiet, shrouded in a silence that feels both unfamiliar and unsettling. The usual hum of engines and laughter is gone, replaced by the soft crunch of snow underfoot. At the Peace Bridge, where thousands of Canadians once queued for hours to cross into the United States for shopping, family visits, or a warm escape, empty lanes now stretch endlessly into the night. The bridge, once a symbol of connection, now stands as a monument to absence. The usual festive energy that filled these border towns is gone, replaced by a wintry stillness that settles over streets and storefronts. The air feels heavier, as if holding its breath. Border agents who once braced themselves for the holiday rush now stand idle, their booths lit but empty, their routines disrupted by the lack of travelers. This scene repeats itself at crossings from Windsor to British Columbia. Canada's annual holiday migration, south, has frozen in place, leaving border towns and checkpoints in a state of suspended animation. Airports echo the same story. Departure boards to U.S. sun destinations, once filled with sold-out flights and bustling crowds, now show rare availability. The usual lines and chatter have vanished, replaced by the distant hum of cleaning machines and the echo of footsteps. In American border cities, shopping malls and hotels are emptier than ever. Canadian license plates, once a common sight in parking lots, are now a rarity. Local businesses feel the absence in their registers and in the quiet of their lobbies. The absence of Canadian visitors is felt everywhere, in the quiet, in the economy, and in the empty hotel rooms that once bustled with families and friends gathering for the holidays. For generations, crossing south for the holidays was a cherished Canadian tradition. Families packed their cars, braved the cold, and made memories that spanned lifetimes. Now, the silence signals a profound change. The roads that once carried laughter and anticipation now echo only with the wind. The story of this New Year's Eve is told not in celebration, but in the stillness of empty highways and vacant rooms. It is a moment of reflection, a pause in the rhythm of cross-border life, and a reminder of how quickly traditions can be interrupted, and how deeply their absence is felt. The quiet border isn't just anecdotal. Data confirms it. Statistics Canada reports a 35% drop in cross-border vehicle traffic compared to pre-pandemic years. This is the steepest decline in non-essential holiday travel in over 2 decades. News headlines on both sides echo the trend. Canadians are staying home. Air travel to U.S. destinations is down nearly 30%. The sharpest drop is in same-day shopping trips, down almost 50%. Essential business travel remains steady, but leisure travel has plummeted. The decline accelerated through the fall, culminating in this quiet holiday season. Analysts point to a perfect storm of factors behind this rapid freeze. The political climate is a major driver of the border freeze. Recent American rhetoric, focused on America first, tariffs and border restrictions, has unsettled many Canadians. Dr. Janice Moore, a sociologist, notes, "It's not just policy, it's the tone. When the discourse feels hostile, Canadians question if they're welcome." This uncertainty is enough to make many reconsider leisure travel. Media coverage amplifies the tension, keeping political unease top of mind. Social media further magnifies concerns, fueling a sense of being undervalued. The perception of a less friendly U.S. acts as an informal travel advisory. For many, staying home is a quiet protest, a way to express disappointment with the current political climate. The Canada-U.S. partnership feels strained, and travel choices reflect that. A simple vacation decision has become a subtle political statement. Economic realities are hitting hard, and for many Canadians, the impact is being felt in everyday decisions, especially when it comes to travel and spending. The Canadian dollar now hovers stubbornly around 70 cents US, a level not seen in years. This means that every American purchase, from hotel rooms to shopping sprees, is suddenly and painfully more expensive for Canadians. For example, a $200 US hotel room now costs nearly $286 Canadian after conversion and fees. That's a significant jump, enough to make many families think twice about booking that cross-border getaway. At home, inflation continues to drive up the cost of groceries and essentials, while high interest rates and stagnant wages mean that most households have less discretionary income to spend on non-essentials like travel. Canadians are now forced to weigh the dream of a vacation against the reality of mortgage payments, rising grocery bills, and other financial obligations. For many, the numbers just don't add up. Economist Mark Solomon explains, "When the dollar drops below 75 cents, we see a clear decline in cross-border travel. At 70 cents, it's not just a dip, it's a cliff. People simply stop going. The psychological impact of a weak dollar is huge. At 70 cents, it feels like a financial cliff, making Americans' trips seem out of reach for many. The perception of poor value is just as powerful as the actual cost. Even if some can technically afford it, the idea of paying 30% more for the same goods or experiences is hard to justify. Even those with the means are questioning the logic of spending so much extra for a US trip, especially when budgets are already stretched thin. As a result, domestic tourism is booming. Canadians are rediscovering the value and beauty of their own country, choosing to spend their travel dollars at home, where their money goes further. The so-called wallets veto is now reshaping travel habits across the country, as people prioritize financial security over international adventure. For many, staying in Canada isn't just a financial decision, it's a practical one, offering peace of mind and a chance to explore local destinations without breaking the bank. The current border freeze is as much about economic pressures as it is about politics, with the exchange rate acting as a powerful barrier to cross-border travel. Beneath the surface, a shift in Canadian identity is underway. National pride and a desire to support local economies are stronger than ever. The Shop Local movement has evolved into Travel Canada. Canadians are rediscovering their own country, from Quebec's old streets to the Rockies' peaks. Cultural divergence from the US is growing, making domestic vacations more appealing. The hassles of border crossings and unfavorable exchange rates add to the appeal of staying home. Online shopping and improved Canadian retail options make cross-border trips less necessary. Convenience, pride, and new alternatives are changing how Canadians spend their holidays. US border towns are feeling the loss. Cities like Buffalo, Detroit, and Bellingham have built their economies around Canadian visitors. A restaurant owner in Plattsburgh reports a 40% drop in business this December. The Canadian accents are gone. Our holiday rushes just aren't happening. Gas stations, hotels, and stores echo the pain. Municipal budgets are hit hard. Sales tax revenue is down, forcing tough choices on public spending. In some towns, Canadian shoppers made up 20% of annual sales tax revenue. Job losses are mounting as businesses cut hours or lay off staff. The retail and hospitality sectors are especially vulnerable. The loss of Canadian customers creates a cycle of economic hardship. The border freeze threatens the livelihoods of thousands. For these communities, it's more than an inconvenience, it's a crisis. The pain extends to major US retailers and airlines. Outlet malls near the border, once bustling with Canadians, are now quiet. Major brands face lower sales and subdued holiday traffic. Airlines have cut flights and are flying emptier planes, eroding profits. The weak Canadian dollar erases the appeal of cross-border shopping, even with discounts. US retailers struggle to lure back customers making rational choices to shop at home. Airlines see their winter travel packages passed over for domestic Canadian options. The higher cost and political climate make US trips less attractive. Both industries are rethinking their cross-border strategies. The traditional winter migration south is on hold. For Canadians, staying home this winter is both a practical decision and a matter of principle. With the world in flux, many families are finding comfort and pride in supporting their own communities and rediscovering the beauty of their own country. Sarah from Ottawa, for example, skipped her family's annual New York shopping trip. She explains, "With the dollar so low and the mood so tense, we chose Montreal instead. It just felt right to stay closer to home and support local businesses." Many Canadians echo this sentiment, seeing their choice as a logical response to changing times. They're weighing not just the financial costs, but also the emotional and social impact of their decisions. A retired Vancouver man, once a snowbird in Arizona, now enjoys the rugged beauty of Vancouver Island. It's less expensive, less stressful, and just as beautiful. he says, adding that he's found a new appreciation for the landscapes and communities he once overlooked. On the U.S. side, border communities are feeling the impact in a different way, confused, concerned, and hurting as the usual flow of visitors slows to a trickle. Tom, a hotel manager in Bellingham, shares his worries. "We've always been good neighbors. This drop in business is devastating, not just for us, but for the whole town. We miss our Canadian friends." In response, local leaders are launching "We Miss You Canada" campaigns, offering discounts, special deals, and heartfelt messages to remind Canadians that they're valued and missed. They're emphasizing the deep friendship that has always existed across the border. A U.S. Congresswoman recently spoke at a press conference saying, "National rhetoric doesn't reflect our reality here. Our relationship with Canada is vital, and we're committed to keeping those ties strong." There's a growing push on both sides to tone down divisive language, rebuild trust, and focus on the shared values that have long united these neighboring nations. Both Americans and Canadians recognize the deep economic and cultural ties at stake. Cross-border travel isn't just about shopping or tourism, it's about families, friendships, and a shared way of life. The hope is that, despite the current freeze, friendship and cooperation will outlast these challenging times. People on both sides are eager for the day when they can reconnect freely. For now, the border remains quiet, the roads empty, and the crossing still. But beneath the silence, the desire for reconnection is strong and growing. Recovery will require effort, understanding, and goodwill from both nations. But with patience and cooperation, there's hope that the bonds between the U.S. and Canada will emerge even stronger. As the year ends, the future of cross-border travel is uncertain. Economic recovery, especially a stronger Canadian dollar, would help bring Canadians back. Political de-escalation and renewed emphasis on shared values are also crucial. Tourism boards and business groups must remind Canadians of the friendships that endure at the community level. U.S. border towns may need to diversify and offer creative incentives to lure visitors. The deep connections between Canadians and Americans remain resilient. The current freeze is likely temporary, not permanent. Recovery will take patience, positive leadership, and a recognition of what both countries stand to lose. The story of the border is still being written, one of challenge, but also of hope for renewed partnership.